Welcome to the Reality Revolution. In today's episode, I'm reading some amazing channelings from the Arcturian Council. These address our shift into the fifth dimension and the massive changes and upcoming upgrades that we are about to encounter. The Arcturian Council is channeled by Daniel Scranton, and this comes from a book titled The Ascension, The Shift to the Fifth Dimension, Volume 4. These channelings discuss our abilities, our supernatural powers, our current ascension and shift into a higher level of consciousness. And I've really enjoyed reading them. They always have profound messages. The Arcturian Council, upcoming upgrades and massive changes. Greetings. We are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. We are not the experts on living life on Earth in a physical human body. You are the experts in that arena of existence, and that is why there is so much attention on Earth at this time. There are many reasons, actually, but so many are observing you for the purposes of learning. They want to know more about you, and more about themselves through you. You are a fascinating race because you have decided to incarnate in a very polarized world, with so many emotions to feel, and with that forgetting of who you really are as source energy beings. This is why it is so phenomenal that you are on the verge of so many massive changes there on Earth, changes that will lead to the eventual completion of the shift. No one can do it for you. We can observe and we can help, but you are still the ones who ultimately have to face those fears and overcome those challenges that you placed in front of yourselves. And you deserve the help that you get, because Earth, as it is today, would not be that way without extraterrestrial intervention. There have been times when you all have been given technology and instructions on how to use it, and then you have misused it, and entire civilizations had to be wiped out as a result. So whose fault is it then? Is it the fault of the humans who misused what they were given? If you handed a gun to a toddler, would you blame the toddler for the results? And so the help that is coming now is very karmic. It is designed to make up for those mistakes. Your spiritual evolution would have gone so much more smoothly if there had never been intervention by ETs who were well-meaning. And so you are now being given upgrades that will assist you in not only remembering who you are and who you have been, but they will also assist in you recognizing that all the technology you need is inside of you. You don't need a time machine or a teleportation device. You don't need a med bed. You don't need any of the gadgets that you currently are in possession of in order to connect with one another, because you are all connected. And if you were to rely more heavily on your gifts, your built-in technology, you would all be telepathic by now. In some ways, the machines help you because you don't have to do as much in order to live a comfortable life, and you can devote more time to your spirituality. But then, there are always the cases of humans going overboard with that technology. And these upgrades are going to help you all achieve a balance that is necessary in order for you to get back to the biggest journey that you have, and that is the journey within. We are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you. Why you will ascend this time. Greetings. We are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. We are aware of the many instances where humankind was on a more direct path of ascension, and where exactly you got sidetracked on those journeys of your collective. Once individuals gain a certain amount of knowledge and develop their skills and abilities, they then have the option of sharing what it is they have come to master. They can share it and teach others how to do it, or they can see themselves as having more power over others as a result of their mastery over energy and vibration, and they could keep it for themselves. And when they do this, they also seek to help that knowledge, that wisdom, away from their fellow humans. People love to feel special, and one of the ways that people have been able to feel special is when they hone their abilities, when they attain spiritual gifts. And so, if they were to then share what was shared with them with everyone else, they would not feel as special and would not have as much power. And this is what has happened throughout human history there on Earth. But now, the times are changing. Information cannot be held back from the masses anymore. You all have the option of learning about the various tools and spiritual practices that will bring you into greater alignment with Source and give you that mastery over energy that you all want. You have so many teachers on your world today who seek to empower their fellow humans, and this is a very good sign. Those who want to hold on tight to their power and to that knowledge, that information, they are having a very hard time right now because they can see how futile their efforts are. You all are accessing exactly what you need to, and when you need to, and it is a very exciting time to be a human being there on planet Earth. If you truly want to ascend, to be your higher selves, to be fifth dimensional, then you will share when you can, and you will teach anyone who is ready to be taught. You will seek the advancement, the evolution of each and every one of your fellow humans. There is power in numbers, and your numbers are multiplying every single day. The more of you that have the power, that have the abilities, the closer you get to the fifth dimension. So don't just wait for your fellow humans to catch up to where you are and where you have been for quite some time. Guide them. Give them the tools that they need and invite them to exist in the higher frequency state that you have been so fortunate to have found. We are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you. Humans in all universes, realities, and timelines. Greetings. We are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. We are gathering enough data to support all humans on all timelines, in all realities and universes. We have broadened the scope of the help that we are offering at this time to include those humans who do not exist in your reality, on your timeline, or in your universe right now. We want you to understand how significant that is, because as all versions of you are assisted, you benefit. You are not just growing as the individual that is in your physical body right now. Even past and future versions of you are helping you to evolve and ascend. Therefore, you can take the weight of the world off of your shoulders. You can relax more and know that your evolution is a natural process. It doesn't have to be a struggle. It doesn't have to include you going through a series of trials and tribulations. It can be quite smooth and easy as you begin to understand that your evolution of consciousness is inevitable and that it benefits all beings throughout all universes. You can also accept the idea that you don't have to do anything at this time. You don't have to prove your worthiness to ascend. Yes, you are there to help, but the help that you bring to other humans is through the up-leveling of your consciousness. It is not through the competition of tasks. Now, as we have been focusing on these other versions of you, we have come to appreciate this human collective consciousness that we are addressing right now through the channel here. We are very impressed with your growth and evolution. We know that our energy transmissions have helped, but there are also many other wonderful teachers out there who are assisting you in raising your vibration and becoming more of who you really are. You already are your fifth dimensional selves, and in every moment of every day, you are recognizing that truth and letting go of ideas, thoughts, beliefs, and stuck energies that hold you back from knowing yourselves as your true selves. Imagine that you're very hot. It is a particularly hot and humid day, and you are wearing several layers of clothing, including some pretty thick ones. The way that some humans go about cooling off is to begin the process of building an air conditioner from scratch, and the easier and faster way is just to remove the layers and layers of clothing. That's what we're telling you right now. That is the case of your spiritual evolution. It doesn't have to be hard, and you don't have to go about it in the most challenging way. You don't have to prove yourselves to be smart or capable of figuring out how to build an air conditioner or anything else from scratch. Take the easy route and make it a point to consciously tune in to all of those other selves and what they are receiving right now, what they've been able to achieve in terms of their vibration, and know that you are also helping every single one of these other yous. You are always being of service, no matter how it might look, and just by receiving this transmission right now, you are helping yourselves, all of your fellow humans, and all the other yous throughout the multiverse. This is a wonderful time to be alive and in a human body on Earth because of all this help and all the transformations that will follow. We are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you. The next giant leap forward for humanity. Greetings. We are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. We are very eager to see where humanity will choose to take yourselves next as you walk the path of ascension as a collective. We know that uncovering truths about your personal and collective histories would be a way to alter and expand the consciousness of the collective, but we also know that if someone presents you with evidence that is contrary to what you already believe, you're likely to dismiss it as a fake, a forgery. That is why we are working very closely with your guides and your higher selves to determine which facts about your personal and collective histories you should be receiving while you're asleep. In other words, we are negotiating with those aspects of you that can sprinkle these memories in because we believe you can handle much more than you're currently being given. Whereas your guides and higher selves want to take a more cautious and conservative approach to what you have access to immediately upon awakening from sleep. This is a time for you to be aware of the truth of who you really are and who you have been. And we believe it will be much easier for you to accept who you really are if you can see clearly who you have been and where you have been in this galaxy in terms of different star systems and dimensions. And we know that you all feel ready to receive more information that would enhance your sense of who you are right now. It is so important that you get plenty of sleep. You also have plenty of time to meditate and relax and rest, because when you are in any of those states of being, you're open to the downloads that we and others like us want to give you. Because as we have said, we know that it serves you to access this information now. We know that you are ready to take the next giant leap forward in your consciousness evolution on a personal and collective level. And of course, if you're receiving this transmission, it means you are being called to lead the others in the discovery of their past, their history, so they can awaken to the truth of who they really are, just as you have. They are so fortunate to have so many of you on the planet right now who are awake. And we are fortunate to have you as well, because we need those who are ready to carry the truth forward into the consciousness of humanity. The truths we are referring to, that you have been fifth dimensional. You have been Arcturian and Pleiadian. You have been Syrian and Andromedan. You have been Lemurian and Atlantean, Egyptian, and have played many prominent roles throughout history. You have been the high priest, the high priestess, the shaman, the light worker, the healer, the oracle, the channel, the witch, and the wizard. And that is why spiritual truths resonate with you so much in this lifetime, and beyond all of that, you are source energy beings, and that is what is most important for everyone to know there on Earth at this time. We are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you. What you will say after you ascend. Greetings, we are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. We have been taking all the time in the world to release ourselves from the bondage of limitation. A limitation that keeps us in our current dimension. And we have been going about it in the slow, deliberate, methodical way that we have, because we enjoy the journey so much and we want to feel every last bit of release as we let go of all that is required to keep us in this dimension. The way that you all are shifting is similar, but it is also different in that most people are not choosing to go about the shedding of their layers in the same intentional way that we are. Instead, many of you feel trapped in your dimensions or stuck emotionally or in other aspects of your lives, and we understand how frustrating that can be, because we witness you day after day, moment after moment even, seeking to break free. But if you can settle in and set the intention every day that you are going to enjoy the ride, that you can embrace everything that comes up for you. Every little challenge that you face can be seen through the eyes of a being who enjoys challenges. And if you enjoy growth, then you enjoy challenges. It is important for all of you to discover something about life there on Earth, and your life specifically, so that you can also enjoy the relief of making even the tiniest bit of progress on your journey. When you realize that you set it all up, that everything in your life is something that you decided to take on, that can help. But if you can let go of the idea that you're trapped, or you are stuck, or you're being punished, then you can see how much there is for you in your current life experience, and you can begin to notice the little things about life on Earth that are worth sticking around for. We know that it's hard and that most people decide at one time or another throughout the course of their lives that they would like to leave, but we also see the triumphs and we see the progress, and we notice you all are becoming so better at being human. And we want you to take the same joy that we do in the gradual peeling off of the layers, because at the end of all of this, you'll be able to look back at your ascension and say to yourself, I did that. It was hard. There were not many rewards along the way, and yet I hung in there and I did it. And it will be something to feel very good about once you are firmly planted in the fifth dimension. We are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you. Ascending in spite of your oppressors. Greetings. We are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. We have been witnessing the struggle that humanity has endured with being oppressed, and we understand why so many of you are angry about this oppression. We understand why you're angry with government officials, cabals, and negatively oriented extraterrestrials, and we feel compassion for you for what you have endured there on Earth. We do believe, however, that we can help to alleviate some of the suffering that you have experienced by reminding you that you are very powerful beings and that you do create your own reality. So all of the oppression that you have experienced has been necessary to give you the third and fourth dimensional experiences that you've been able to have there on Earth. Were it not for the oppression, you would have moved through the third dimension very fast, and many of you would have shifted to the fifth dimension before the rest of humanity was ready. We saw this happen with the Mayans, for example, where many of the Mayans ascended because they were simply ready to. Now, if this had continued on Earth, you would have had civilization after civilization ascending, and those who were not so fortunate to have chosen to incarnate in an advanced civilization would have endured even more suffering and even more oppression. So those of you who have been holding the space for all of humanity and holding the higher vibration that you do for your collective have created a balance there. And that balance was necessary to give all of you the numerous experiences that you wanted to have before shifting. Remember that everything is a choice on some level. Just because you don't remember making the choice to incarnate there and be oppressed doesn't make it any less of a choice. Now that most of you who are awake have become aware of your oppressors, you feel a great deal of anger and you want justice. You want them to be taken down, imprisoned, and some of you even look for their deaths as a necessary punishment of what they have done. But this is not how you evolve and ascend. You evolve and ascend through forgiveness, compassion, and unconditional love. And that forgiveness is made possible by this understanding that you needed them to play the role of the bad guys, the dark ones. You needed that oppression to stay in the fourth and third dimensions long enough to have a collective event that will be the ascension of all humanity that is present on Earth. So look for that knowing within yourselves, process your angry feelings, and get to the place of forgiveness and compassion for those who choose to play their roles. And we can assure you that those roles are not as good feelings as you might suspect. Having all that power and all that money is meaningless without love. And some of these beings who have been your oppressors have even come to the conclusion through the lives that they have lived. And they will need ones like you who are awake to forgive them. And this is what we believe is necessary as well for the ascension of all humanity. We are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you. Our vision for humanity's ascension. Greetings. We are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. We have a vision of the future for humanity that we hold within our consciousness, and we invite you to that vision by sending you the vibration of it. It is our desire for all of humanity to shift your consciousness in the most peaceful, pleasant, and joyous way imaginable. We know that this timeline exists for all of you, and it is our mission to get as many of you as possible to experience it, both in your waking state and when you're asleep, so that you can hold the vibration within you and become one of the members of society who is feeling your way towards this best possible scenario. You are capable as a collective of taking our vision for humanity's shift and improving upon it. You are powerful enough to do just that, and that is also a vision that we hold for all of you. We know what you're capable of, but most of you have not found the confidence to create the reality that you desire, and so we help you to find that confidence. And we want all of you to recognize yourselves as beautiful and masterful creator beings. Many of you have become aware of predictions about your shift or the event, as it is sometimes referred to as, and those predictions are about chaos, destruction, cataclysms, and death. And while those timelines certainly do exist, you don't have to align yourselves with anything that you don't want to experience. You have the freedom within the fourth dimension to create the experiences you want to have and then to manifest those experiences. When you become aware of someone else's not so good feeling vision for humanity's vision, remember that. Remember that your exposure to that prediction is your creation, but also know that you are under no obligation to live out what someone else is inviting you to. We are quite certain that you will enjoy the vision that we hold of humanity's completion of the shift, and that is why we invite you to it. But you will always have free will. You will always be able to choose what you want to experience, and please know that none of the predictions that you become aware of are set in stone. The future is all about probabilities, and you as the awakened ones in the human collective can and will choose from those probabilities. And as we have said, you will probably create some new ones that are even better than what we have envisioned. We are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you. How you will experience the completion of the shift. Greetings, we are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. We are so very interested in the development of the new self that is taking place within each and every human being at this time. You are essentially shifting your consciousness from within by noticing that you are more than the identity that you had previously clung to as the real you. Now, as you transition from being an egoic being to being your higher self, this place you are in now is the most interesting and fascinating to those like us who observe this process of evolution. We see you becoming more of who you really are every day, because we witness you as an energy that vibrates rather than as a human body that speaks, thinks, and acts. The up-leveling of your vibration is inevitable because your planet is shifting, just as the entire solar system moves through the galaxy to greener pastures, so to speak. It is a time for you to be looking at yourselves in new ways, seeing the eternal expansion of your consciousness to include more than the sense of self you had previously. You are meant to grow and become, and the process of your evolution is through the realization that nothing else really matters. That is why you experience loss. That is why you experience the breakup, the loss of money, home, possessions, even your youth. You continue to lose more the longer you move through time and space there on Earth, which eventually helps you to come to peace with the fact that you were never meant to cling to these illusions in the physical in the first place. It was something that you were taught to do. You were taught to identify as a race, religion, nationality, gender, and so on, and as those things are becoming less important to the awakened collective, there is a pushback. People who are still clinging want you to cling as well. They want you to have national pride, a religion, an easily identifiable gender, and so on. The way of the ego is to cling, to attach, to assign meaning to the meaningless. And the way of the higher self is to be present, to care not about form, about structures, about made-up ideas like a country, and instead to be more unconditional love, to show more compassion, and to create from the beauty that is all around the higher self. This is essentially what you expect to do after you ascend, but you are in this transitional phase right now where you are stripping away the identities of the ego in order to become your higher self. And those of you who have done a lot of that work already can begin to identify as your higher self right now. You don't have to wait for a solar flash, an event, 3 to however many days of darkness that are being talked about, and so on. You don't have to wait for any of it to occur outside of you in order for you to decide what you do want to identify as an infinite, eternal, formless being of light and love. And as you make your expressions about the feeling that you have cultivated within yourself, you light up to others, and then others will be more interested in what you have than the shiny new car, the big house, the luxurious clothing, and other items that they have, and will want you to teach them how to find that place inside where they too can have inner peace and a sense of satisfaction just from existing. This is why we continually tell you that as the awakened collective, you are leading humanity. It is because we can see how the shift will actually continue to unfold. It will be a grassroots movement where all of you are paying attention right now to what's going on inside of you. We'll lead the newly awakened back inside themselves to where everything they need already exists. And as you do, you help the collective of humanity move from an egoic one to one that exists as a collective, as a higher self. And then you will experience the completion of the shift. We are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you. What your ascension is really about. Greetings, we are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. We are in the process of becoming our oversouls, as you are in the process of becoming your higher selves, and we want you to realize how blessed you are in making this transition, as difficult and challenging as the shift has been. We understand the process of shedding skin in order to be born anew, as we are going through something that is similar at this time. What we have come to realize is that the process is not about leaving behind our old identity as the ninth dimensional Arcturian Council. This is a process of becoming more of who we are. It is a process of broadening the idea of who we are and holding that knowing permanently. And so as you move the more difficult experiences that you are having, you feel that you are losing yourself in the process. Remember that the experience you are having is one of becoming more, not less. Your ego can cling to who you have been. Your ego can certainly identify with that aspect of you and see it as the most significant aspect. But in those moments, it is important to remember that the process of becoming is about including more of the real self. So what you're shedding are ideas that are false. You are shedding the filters that prevent you from seeing yourselves clearly as the beings of light and love that you truly are. You don't have to wrestle with yourselves through this process. Instead, you want to give in to the process. You want to surrender the false self in order to become more of your whole self. And sometimes that means letting go of what you have used to identify yourself as you. It can be very hard on your pride to realize that you're not your accomplishments, your good deeds, and your status in the world. You're a part of something that is much bigger than all those things combined and more. And so it is most beneficial to all of you to see yourselves as your world, as this galaxy, and as this universe of ours, and to let yourselves be in the flow. This is the best possible experience you can have, and sooner or later, even your ego recognizes this as truth. Becoming who you really are is more about letting go than about climbing a ladder. And if this transmission is resonating with you, then you have to let go of that notion. You have to let go of much more that has been holding you back in your becoming. We are the Arcturian Council. We've enjoyed connecting with you. The best possible ascension. Greetings, we are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. We are attempting to be very succinct in what we give to all of you through this channel here. We know that we could get a lot more elaborate and verbose in the delivery of these transmissions to you, but we also know what actually serves you. And we know that getting in your head about everything that is going on only leads to more confusion, more second-guessing, and more paranoia than may already exist in your physical minds. Therefore, we invite you to the simple strategy for dealing with life there on Earth on a day-to-day basis. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to know every detail of what has occurred or what is occurring. And in fact, focusing on the past and the future and the things that are outside of your control will not serve you, not nearly as much as focusing within yourself will. You need to understand where you're coming from. You need to understand what your reactions are to what's going on. You need to feel into your feelings, and you need to let go of almost everything else. When you look within more, you are more likely then to have more compassion for others, which is the way you evolve and ascend. Compassion, forgiveness, and unconditional love are the big three when it comes to spiritual evolution, and that's why we keep directing you back to what is simple and true and universal. One thing you have to consider when you start to get caught up in what has happened, what will happen, and what's happening behind the scenes and in the shadows is that you're constantly jumping timelines. You are shifting realities all the time, and when you shift realities, you have different pasts and different futures in those different realities. So then what difference does it make if you have it all figured out in the reality that you're in when you're just going to shift to another reality in the next moment? What matters more is that you are paying attention to your vibration, which determines which reality you shift to. And that's why we'll always bring you back to what is simple, what is true, and what is universal about your experience there on Earth. Many of you also get caught up in the idea of a mission, a purpose, something you're supposed to be doing but somehow don't know about yet. And we say that if you relax and breathe and pay attention when you don't know what to do, then what you need to do and what it serves you to do will come to you. It comes to you naturally, easily, without struggle, without second guessing, without needing to back the right conspiracy theory of the movement. You don't need to be right, you just need to be aware, and you need to be more aware of what's going on inside of you than what's going on out there. Now, that being said, we will still tell you when there are energies, upgrades, and activations coming your way, because it actually serves you to know about those things, and it serves you even more to open up to them consciously and to feel for them. If you're feeling for what is good, what is higher dimensional, what is higher vibrational, then you are ascending consciously with joy and ease. If what you're focusing upon, on the other hand, is bringing you down, causing you to focus on what needs to be defeated or who is doing the baddest things, then you're making it harder on yourself to grow, to evolve, and to ascend. We're not here to tell you that you are going to prevent yourselves from ascending, because we do not see that in any of you who are receiving these transmissions. You are on your path. You can relax, you can let go, and you can tune in more to the higher vibrational inside of you and all around you to give yourself the best possible experience of your ascension. We are the Arcturian Council, and we've enjoyed connecting with you. This collection of channelings really focuses on the importance of finding your own, what they call, internal technology. There's lots of ways to look at the outside world and see what's happening, but our ascension occurs from within. They make some interesting observations here that tell us a little bit more about the Arcturians in general. They appear to have experienced their own evolution in understanding the multiverse and began assisting other humans in other multiverses. And I believe that we're starting to experience a lot of these multiversal aspects because higher dimensional beings are starting to explore these multidimensional worlds, and that information is seeping in, and they're telling us that we can create a relationship with our other selves in other universes, that we are helping ourselves in the past and future. This is an important perspective to understand as you ascend, that we move beyond time into an entirely different realm of being. They explain what the best possible ascension would be, understanding that there is some very dark timelines where we all go through a shift, but that encompasses war and cataclysm, and they're inviting us into their own vision of this ascension, which is a more positive, upbeat, loving, compassionate ascension. They've always told us we're going to ascend no matter what, but it could be a dark road ahead, or it could be a bright one, and it really depends on what choices we make. They can't control the choices we make in this process, and it can be a long, hard road, or it can be an easy one. And so, the more and more I meditate with this, you can tune in to the energies of the Arcturians and ask for their guidance. Say, please tell me what I should do in these moments. Work through me. Guide me. And they will be there. You can feel their energies. They want you to succeed and be happy, and it's important because they're speaking to us as the awakened collective. Not that we are any sort of elite, but we are in a very unique position. We can walk away with this information and just take care of ourselves, or we can go about trying to help in the ascension of others in this universe. And so it's our choice. You can find all episodes of The Reality Revolution at therealityrevolution.com. And welcome to The Reality Revolution.